Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad AKMAL bin ZAINAL.
I am Hanif Imran bin Ahmad Rushdy, and we are going to present our study on social demographic factors on financial literacy among final year degree students in UiTM Seremban 3, supervised by Dr. Khairiyah binti Muhammad SHAHID. Financial literacy is the knowledge or the ability of someone to control their expenditure, investment, and savings of their personal finance. This ability requires a certain types of knowledge to make judgment that could help properly administer their accounts. In Malaysia, financial management awareness among students is very low. The students are not being provided with any programs or any financial advice by their parents and the government that would lead them of having a low financial literacy. Under this study, it is to examine how different demographic factors can affect their financial literacy.
Financial literacy is at a critical stage among youth as they could not manage their finances well. According to Insolvency Department, there are 84,805 youth already involved in bankruptcy in Malaysia. Reduction of the loan by Perbadanan Tabung Pendidikan Tinggi Nasional (PTPTN) has given the difficulties towards the student for managing their finance appropriately. The low support by the responsible body will worsen the financial literacy among them. The burden that carried by parents also can be the factor of this problem because they could not provide education and information for their children due to unstable income. According to Malay Mail 2020, nearly 70% of Malaysians need financial literacy assistance. This means the parents are responsible in giving the early education for their child as to increase their knowledge and also to avoid the problem to be prolonged until they are entering adulthood life. Open distance learning is also one of the problems that make the students to not have a proper financial literacy as they tend to waste their financial resources by buying unnecessary things through online shopping. The following research questions were developed for a better understanding of financial literacy among final year degree students in UiTM Seremban 3. Question number 1 is, what is the level of financial literacy among final year degree students in UiTM Seremban 3? Question number 2, what are the differences in financial literacy level on the basis of demographic factors which are gender, faculty, parental education and residency among final year degree students in UiTM Seremban 3? For research objectives, number 1 is to identify the level of financial literacy among final year degree students in UiTM Seremban 3. Number 2 is to examine significant differences in financial literacy level on the basis of demographic factors which are gender, faculty, parental education and residency among final year degree students in UiTM Seremban 3. Number 1 is gender. Male and female students are having their own intention where each of them might have a huge amount of spending their money. According to Amagir 2020, women use credit cards more recklessly than males among university students. It is because they will easily influenced by their high earning peers to maintain a high income lifestyle. Number 2 is faculty. The level of financial knowledge among students can be determined based on their background studies, meaning which programs that student take that are related to financial education. According to Sarigul 2014, students who study in social sciences have more knowledge than students who study health sciences. It is because social sciences students gain more knowledge because they took subjects that were related to economics and business compared to health sciences students who only learn about the system of human body. The third is parental education. The higher the education of the parents, the higher influence they can give towards the financial knowledge of their children. Well-off and educated parents were found to be major factors of a student's level of financial literacy because wealthier family provided more financial assistance to their children, allowing them to learn finance issues both academically and informally. Lastly is residency. According to Beckman 2013, it is found that people that live in village area have less financial knowledge compared to those who are from the city. The reason was the people in the rural area are not exposed to financial education programs, have less experience in dealing with financial tools due to lack of financial institutions in the area.
Based on the literature review and understanding,
the conceptual framework is developed. The conceptual framework proposes direct relationship between social demographic of gender, faculty, parental education, and residency with financial literacy.
Next, I will explain on the research methodology. This research methodology uses quantitative research where it specifically uses cross-sectional research design. This is because this research collects the data at only one point of the time using Google Form distributed among final year degree students. The unit analysis is final year degree students of UiTM Seremban 3, from which comprises of Part 5 and 6 students from 3 different faculties. Next, the sample size. Our population is 1,563 based on the data received from the Students Affairs Division. Hence, by referring to the Krecher and Morgan table, the proper sample size is 310. We managed to get 311 sample size, which exceed the proposed sample size. The sampling technique of this research uses stratified random sampling technique. The stratified random sampling technique is being used when we have a population that is random with no definite category. Furthermore, the measurement used for independent variable is nominal and ordinal, and for the dependent variable, it uses Likert scale, which uses 1 to 5 points, where 1 is strongly disagree and 5 is strongly agree. The data collection is based on the questionnaire, where in section A is the demographic profile, section B is the financial knowledge, section C is the parental influence, and section D is the financial attitude. In data analysis, we use IBM SPSS to generate the outcome of the research, where it should find the two research objectives. The first research objective uses descriptive statistics, where mean and standard deviation is used to compare the data. The second objective uses ANOVA and t-test, where it is to compare the difference of the amount of variable in the discussion.
From the data received, most of the gender that involved is in the female category, which has a total of 173 equals to 55.6%. Most of the respondents are aged 22 years old with a total number of 232 equals to 74.6%. The respondents are from 3 different faculties, which are FSPPP, FSR, and FSKM, with the highest frequency is students from FSPPP with a total of 139 respondents. The highest financial aid received by the respondents is PTPTN with a total of 140 respondents with the percentage of 45%. For monthly allowance, the range from RM101 to RM300 has the highest frequency, which is 127. The highest respondent that represent the area are from semi-urban. The data for parents' level of education are having the balance of respondents, which the highest is for the secondary school that represents 107 respondents with a total percentage of 34.4%.
Next, I will proceed on the main finding. The finding for the first objective shows that the sample size of the final year degree students in UiTM Seremban 3 have high level of financial literacy. This data is being interpreted by looking at the mean value, which has more than 2.5, which is above the average value. Next, the data for the second, third, and fourth objective is being analyzed using t-test and ANOVA, where if the p-value is below or equals to 0.05, it will reject H-null. But if it is above 0.05, it will accept H-null. By referring to the table, the result for the second objective of finding a significant difference between financial attitude and social demographic factors shows that all the social demographic factors of gender, faculty, parental education, and residency has significant difference, thus making it to reject H-null. Next, the result for the third objective of finding a significant difference between parental influence and social demographic factors shows that only social demographic factors of parental education and residency has significant difference, thus making it to only the two of them to reject H-null. Other than that, the result for the fourth objective of finding a significant difference between financial knowledge and social demographic factors shows that only the social demographic factors of faculty have no significant difference, hence making it the only one to accept HNAL. Furthermore, I will now explain the implication of this research. The first implication of this research is the delivery of financial literacy program can be improved, that is, by promoting it to a wider audience and use interactive ways in encouraging more participation from people. This can be done by the utilization of the use of social media and technology as a way in delivering the message. The second implication of this research is the introduction of a mandatory financial syllabus in schools. This is being made so that children can learn the basics of finance in ensuring a more mature financial decisions. This is because students have been exposed early on by the expenditure of money when they buy food from the canteen. The third implication is to promote an understanding of implication of saving and investment decision on society so that they can secure their money from overspending. The fourth implication is to generate a collaborative action between government and other agencies. The government needs to have the support by the non-governmental body and other agencies such as banks and financial providers, as it is important because the students will directly deal with these institutions in order for them to do some financial matters such as savings and investments.
Number one is time constraint. Time constraint is one of the limitations that were experienced by the researchers because the process of collecting the data from the respondents require a long period of time as to achieve the sample size of the data. The researchers need to distribute the questionnaire from time to time by using social media platforms. Number two is respondent cooperation. Due to open distance learning, the way of data to be spread was different as the researchers are relying on using social media platforms and need to approach the respondents personally in order to get their cooperation in answering those questions provided. There are a lot of questionnaires that be distributed into the same group, and the researchers also need to put an extra effort by distributing the questionnaires personally. Next is sample size. This research is being conducted on final year degree students of UiTM Seremban 3, which cannot see the full context of the actual data as it only represents a small number of people. For further studies in improving the accuracy of the data, it suggested that the population and sample size involved on more than 2 universities. There are different social demographic factors that can be used if the study is being conducted using a larger population. Lastly is weakness of quantitative study. Quantitative research cannot measure in terms of how individuals understand their acts and feeling, as it can only rely on data and figures. This, however, is different with qualitative approach where it has the ability to evaluate a wide range of emotions through the way people talk and behavior in an interview. This research can be executed in qualitative analysis to get a different view from experts and respondents for more accurate data collection. As a conclusion, under this study specifically is being researched under 4 main demographic attributes, which are gender, faculty, residency and parental education, that can influence the level of financial literacy by examining their financial attitude, financial knowledge and parental influence. By using SPSS, 2 methods are being used, which are t-test and ANOVA. T-test is being used to compare the categorical personal attribute of gender with determinants of financial literacy, and the other 3 demographic factors use ANOVA as it has more than 2 selections in the category. Based on this research, it will help the researcher to gain new knowledge on the importance of financial literacy in depth, and they will provide the information to other students as to ease them in managing their finances well.